very real.
Quantum physics. Einstein. But I bet Einstein didn't bang his head in the locker before going on the game.
Ready to play.
Can give you
With the helmet on, though.
a new
Yeah,
path.
with the helmet.
Right.
That changed it a little bit.
Without the helmet, we'd be questioning it.
And Gators fans would probably tell them that they get to claim Tom Petty. So we'll have to see if that changes as the year unfolds. But Joe Burrow, quarterback transfer of yesteryear, stepping up in big spots for LSU in his first season there, faces another tough cookie in the marquee matchup of Week 2 Saturday night. Coach O's guys crossing into Texas to face Sam Ehlinger and the Longhorns. After both teams coasted through Week 1, Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdown passes before halftime, tying a school record as LSU unveiled its new up-tempo spread attack. They've been waiting for it. The Longhorns have seen plenty of that in the Big 12, but they hadn't seen a season-opening win under Tom Herman until Saturday, as many Longhorns got their first career starts. This is a different team that beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl that now tries to take out the Tigers in Austin.
We kind of understand that to get to where we want to go as a program, that we're going to have to play in and win these kind of games, and to do it against another, top 10 opponent is pretty cool, especially at home. But I also know that, Bob Bowlesby's not going to be handing out the Big 12 championship trophy after this game either. And, we're going to try our best to go 1-0 this week, but we also know that there's a bigger picture goal out there as well.
All right, so big showdown here. LSU going to Texas, and guess what? Sportsline is taking the road team in this one. Interesting, 23-21. This is going to be a great game, and could give an inner track to the playoff here. Randy, who are you taking?
Well, I'm with Sportsline. I look at this game. You come to expect defense out of LSU. You come to expect some unbelievable talent out of LSU. The only thing you're surprised at when you see it live and in person is a quarterback out of LSU. And granted, it wasn't the top-notch competition, but Joe Burrow from the middle of last year on just seems to get it. And if he can play like this consistently, LSU's as good as anybody in the West.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you, Randy. I'm going with LSU as well. 23-27, I don't care who you're playing. And Georgia Southern's a good football team. I don't care if you're playing air. 23-27 is good, and over 10 yards an attempt. Joe Brady has made an impact on this offense. You saw a bunch of New Orleans Saints concepts in this last game, and given that Texas has so much in terms of youth on the defensive side, I'm going to lean LSU.
I like LSU in this game because of the physicality element. They had one of the quiet, better seasons that got 10 wins a season ago, and they particularly beat teams that were physical. The Miamis, the Auburns, the Georgias, the Mississippi States. They won in the trenches, particularly against teams that had defenses. That's where I think they have the advantage here. Texas, Ehlinger is fantastic. There's no question about that. But they're banged up on that side of the ball. There's a lot of youth, and I think LSU, with the added element of the offense, is going to be too tough for Texas this early.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned the running back position. They're banged up there. Offensive line everywhere else, quarterback, of course, and wide receiver. They're healthy, and all you got is all you need is what a coach told me once before. But on the defensive side of the ball, you look at Aranda there at LSU and Orlando, of course, at Texas. They're cut from the same cloth. Both of these guys employ an aggressive style with multiplicity in terms of how they attack opposing offense. I love this Texas defense as far as the talent, the most talent they've had on campus in a long, long time. You're right. They are devoid of experience, and they're going to get it. And I have a new favorite linebacker, and this is why I'm going with Texas. Number 46, Joseph Asai. He had 8 tackles in that Sugar Bowl versus a very physical Georgia team, and he was just a pup, and he's still a pup. But I like this Texas defense from a talent standpoint. They're going to get some big-time experience, and I think they eke out a win.
How about that?
Plus, you still need reservations in Austin, right?
No,
he still goes back.
He just went there. He just went there. He played cornhole with Ehlinger, which we're going to have a little bit later in the show.
No. They're back. They're back, and this will go a long way in proving that they're back.
All right, well, they got home field. LSU coming in one of 6 SEC teams in the top 12. First time that's been done by a conference
LSU to win
since the SEC did that about 6 years ago. All right, more on BJ loving Texas a little bit later as well.
I love LSU, too.
Did you hear that?
Oh,
still rolling. Still rolling.
You know you're in the southern portion of the country when dog is 2 syllables.
Indeed. Look, hey, everyone needs a Muse, right? Tanner Muse had 7 tackles and an interception in Clemson's easy win over Georgia Tech to open the season. Saturday, the Tigers faced Texas A&M in another meeting of ranked teams and a rematch of a game that went down to the wire a season ago. And the Aggies, they routed Texas State in their opener. Here they come. As Kellen Mond, now quite comfy in year 2 in Jimbo Fisher's system, threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for another. Remember, he had 430 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Tigers a year ago, almost won it. Clemson handled the Yellow Jackets with ease in week 1 as Travis Etienne, as Aaron was talking about earlier, went for over 200 yards on just 12 carries. Trevor Lawrence was not quite as sharp. Heisman favorite had his moments, but threw 2 picks, first time ever, after posting just 4 all last season. However, the Tigers have won 19 straight in Death Valley.
It's a great opportunity early for us to grow our team, and win or lose the game, we're going to get better from this game. And so I love the challenge. I love the opportunity to go against a great team early in the year, especially before we get into conference play, and kind of see where we are and grow up a little bit.
If you're not confident that you're going to be successful, yes, but we understand the opponent, and that comes from respect for them. I mean, you know, you have a great respect for them, but also you have to go compete. You expect, anytime you line up to play, you expect to be successful. But you understand it's a tall task. We need to play well to have that success, and that's what we have to do. We have to practice well, prepare well to be able to do those things.
Does that make them ripe for an upset?
Oh, yes, it does. There will be an upset.
Some of your guys earlier today were making some pretty bold statements about winning the game and all.
Well, who did that?
Okay.
There will be an upset on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
Jared better play well.
Amen.
Exactly. It's as simple as that. Cosign, right? Cosign.
Oh, man. And he did it just so like, oh, yes, I'm going to now guarantee an upset.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
No place else to be.
How many of y'all think he pulled Jared aside, though, after that?
Oh, they'll be a pull aside.
You better play well.
You know, if you look at the numbers from this game a year ago, A&M outplayed Clemson. Yeah. Now, they didn't on the scoreboard, and it was one of the most entertaining games of the season.
Right.
But more first downs, more yards. You just put up those monster numbers that Kellen Mond enjoyed, 430 yards throwing the ball. I think because of Mike Elko and what they've done defensively, and look at the first game where they had 4 interceptions. One of the big concerns Elko had a year ago was the back end wasn't able to play the ball. They're better there this year. I think their run-stopping defense is going to corral Etienne, and I'm going over the edge and telling you A&M's going to win.
A&M's going to win. How about that? On the road.
On the road.
On the road. By the way, Sportsline has Clemson by 16 here. So.
Jimbo Fisher knows this lair, right? Yep. He's been in Death Valley many times.
Right. Yep.
I like A&M in this spot.
Back in the Florida State Clemson days, AT?
When you put the tape on, there's a lot to like about Texas A&M. Kellen Mond and the way that he has improved his deep ball accuracy was noticeable. He was throwing some beautiful balls. He had a good arm to begin with. We always known he's been a dual threat. The thing that concerns me about Texas A&M, though, true freshman at the right guard position, on the road, crowd noise, that can be a challenge. With that said, I think they're good. You mentioned the interceptions on Elko's defense. They only had 7 a year ago. They had 4 in the first night. You add 3 sacks to that, they're going to be ready to play. Clemson didn't look all that good, but I like the Tigers.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I hate when he does that.
Aaron always adulpating the viewer.
Listen, A&M was the second best rush defense in the SEC a season ago, and they picked up where they left off, -7 Texas State the other night, only 7 points, and that came mop-up time for the reserves in the fourth quarter. And big old Bobby Brown, nose guard for the Aggies. He has to be the antithesis of the artist Bobby Brown's hit song, Don't Be Cruel. He has to be cruel for 4 quarters. I don't think he can do it. As much as I like this improved Aggie team, I think they dropped this one.
You got to give kudos to these teams that scheduled these games early. Love this stuff. Kind of like Auburn, Oregon last week. You got to have that. If there's one thing Jimbo Fisher has to change at Texas A&M, it's going on the road in true road games real early in the season. Your first true road victory has to come on the road. It's got to be in those visiting type situations. Hey, they're 1-3 the last 4 times they've done that. I think they're going to be 1-4.
Okay. Well, other than Syracuse next week, though, this is the hardest game left on Clemson's regular season schedule here.
And Clemson has the back end. Remember, 3 or 4 return from that back end to go up against these big receivers that A&M's going to employ. I think that gives them an advantage as well.
Just remember what I said.
We did?
We're going to remember. It's on tape.
We're going to be DVRing the show at home right now.